Hey guys, and welcome back to another Pokémon Legends Arceus video. And today, we've got one I always look forward to when we have a new game release. We're gonna be looking at the best Pokémon of every type today, and we've got no shortage of Pokémon to look at with every typing that could potentially be viable. As always, this video is filled with what the best Pokémon are in my opinion. But I am definitely looking forward to hearing from what you guys think, whether you agree with me or not. There are several Pokémon here in this game that aren't normally in Sinnoh. For instance, we'll be starting with the Dragon typing in a moment, and it isn't just Garchomp by default anymore. It's really cool to see positive changes made to the Pokémon lineup in this game, and I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as I do. Now, before we get going into these best Pokémon, how about we look at the best type of hair loss treatment out there on the market today? This video is sponsored by Keeps, an online subscription service that is a doctor-recommended way to treat your hair loss. You know, 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss before the age of 35, and I actually have a perfect example. My editors both have some issues with hair loss in their 20s, while I've been lucky enough to avoid it, though not everyone is as lucky as I am. Keeps actually offers clinically proven, research-backed treatments that can help stop hair loss and of course improve hair growth. When you subscribe to their services, they'll take care of you big time, remind you when you need to refill your treatment, and make sure that you're always just an order away from continuing to treat your hair the way it deserves to be treated. I'm sure you're wondering about how to get in contact with Keeps when you need them to. Well, they've got a 24/7 care and support team, so you can rest assured knowing that you'll have a direct connection to a network of expert medical advisors and care specialists, as well as those that can help prescribe you exactly what you need. You'll even get a full year of unlimited messaging with your prescribing doctor about anything at any time with your subscription too. That sort of communication is very important to me, especially when it comes to my health. And I'm sure you guys can feel the same. Let's run that down one last time. You can subscribe to Keep's amazing service to help combat your hair loss. It's clinically proven to actually make a difference. And you've got access to some of the best customer service out there whenever necessary. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, head on over to keeps.com/mystic or click on the link in the description. That's keeps.com/mystic. Like I just mentioned, we're going to start with the best dragon type for Legends Arceus. And no, it isn't Garchomp. I don't know why you guys are so defensive of Garchomp in the context of in-game playthroughs, but without fail, when I don't put it on a best team or name it the best Pokemon of its types and available, I get comments about it. I will never dispute Garchomp's competitive prowess, as it is almost always welcome on a team for me if I'm building one. However, when it's constantly a later encounter in these games, I always struggle to justify calling it a Pokemon worth using in a playthrough. It's at a disadvantage now too, with Earthquake gone from its move pool. Despite that though, it is still a strong Pokemon, and there are plenty of usable moves in its pool. But reality must be faced. Goodra is the best dragon type of the two here with its new Hisuian form. It's not just the best dragon type, but the best steel type as well. We'll knock out both types here, and start by going over the stat layout. 4 stats over 100 on this powerful Goodra. That's just wild. It's taking major hits in-game with its 150 base special defense and 100 base physical, that's for sure. It can hit stupid hard with a move pool that is chock full of stab and more coverage than it knows what to do with. Garchomp might be strong, but it can't be mixed like Goodra, and it definitely isn't taking the sorts of hits it can. As for the other steel types out there, none come close to Goodra either. Empoleon does come the closest, I'll admit that much. And in some circumstances, if you're building a team, I can see you choosing to use it over Goodra. However, 9 times out of 10, you're calling upon the Shell Bunker Pokemon as your steel type of choice. There is too much defensive and offensive ability here, and a good move pool to boot to challenge reality. Goodra is the best steel and dragon type and one of the best Pokemon in general in Legends Arceus. Let's hit on the grass typing next. A longtime favorite of mine and one of the best grass types out there, Roserade. Decidueye and Torterra were both serious contenders for this spot, but I struggled to justify either of them over Roserade, which led to my final decision. See, Badoo is a nice and early encounter when you arrive in the Crimson Mirelands. And if you're lucky enough, you might even be able to find a Roselia in a certain area in the Crimson Mirelands. You can get Turtwig there too, but not until you've got Basculegion. So it's long enough afterward that I felt it was out of contention of outplaying Roserade. As for Decidueye, it doesn't offer the sort of coverage Roserade can. Triple Arrows is a fine move that can be paired with Leaf Blade and Psycho Cut, but it's just got nothing on the Sludge Bomb, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball moveset that Badoo can get, long before it even evolves. It's hard to deny now how useful Roserade is during a playthrough too. It can handle around a dozen different typings with the move pool I mentioned, and it's so easy to get even with an evolutionary stone. It just is the best grass type. But is it the best poison type? Well, no actually. It isn't the best poison type, shockingly enough. Despite how good it is, there were some changes made to move pools in this game that leave me confident enough to say Gengar is once again the best poison type. It's got an edge over Roserade, having access to all of its best moves, including Thunderbolt and Icy Wind. There is no other poison type that offers this sort of coverage, and it doesn't hurt that Gengar also has 130 special attack and superb base 110 speed. Though I'm sure that leaves you folks wondering what the best ghost type is. Well, of course it's Gengar once again. While Typhlosion is certainly a good ghost type just from its stats alone, it still isn't as strong as Gengar, and doesn't offer the same coverage by any means. The only other ghost types I really considered here were Mismagius and Dusknoir. But at the end of the day, you just can't deny Gengar. I mean, Ghastly is available early enough, and even as a Haunter, while you wait to attain a link cable, you're gonna be in good shape. I'm open to some discussion on that Roserade versus Gengar debate, but for ghost types, it's perfect. So we'll hit on two typings up next, the fire and fighting typings together. Surely you get the point here. The best of those two typings in Legends Arceus is Infernape, same as was the case in modern day Sinnoh. It's super easy to get Chimchar through a request in the game, so you can get it early on. And when it becomes Infernape by level 36, you'll have an incredibly strong team member with two of the best typings you can have in Hisui. Its move pool offers Close Combat, Flamethrower, and Thunder Punch for some wonderful coverage. There's some more moves here on screen, but as you can tell, Infernape remains one of the best starter Pokemon in general. It's better as a fire type than Typhlosion is in these games, and really the only fighting type I can think of holding a candle to it is Lilligant. And even then, it's not super close. These aren't my biases leaking out. Infernape stands on its own as a superstar, even without my ringing endorsement. So we'll knock out two typings once again here. A duo that go together like peanut butter and jelly, ground and rock. They're both represented today by Rhyperior, straight out of a few videos I've already done for this game. So the rock typing is pretty self-explanatory. There aren't many rock types in this game that are actually really good. Cleaver was the only one I truly considered to potentially be better, but its move pool and coverage weren't good enough to justify it over Rhyperior as the top rock option in Hisui. Rhyperior's got an insane amount of coverage in its pool, with great attack and defense. The only issue is its speed and special stats. It's going to probably get OHKO'd by a special grass or water type move, which is unfortunate, but it wasn't enough for me to disregard it. The ease of getting a Rhyhorn, and then having it evolve through to a Rhyperior while remaining a strong Pokemon that can be used in several battles, was just too much for me to think any other Pokemon was better than it in the typing conversation. Well, almost. See, the best normal type Pokemon in Legends Arceus is Ursaluna, and it was almost the best ground type. I deliberated a lot, spoke with my editors, did a ton of research, and in the realm of the ground typing, Rhyperior just edges out Ursaluna. It's easier to get, it's got the same sort of move pool, and its attack stat is just as good while also having better physical defense. There is an argument to be made about the detriment of having 4 times weakness, and I completely agree with that, but the pros end up outweighing the cons in a tight matchup between Rhyperior and Ursaluna as ground types. It can go either way, and if you think I'm wrong, let me know. Just try to come up with more than just having a couple 4 times weaknesses. So as for Ursaluna as a normal type, I definitely thought about Snorlax and compared the two. But Ursaluna is just straight up one of the best Pokemon to use in these games. You can't argue that too much, I can assure you. Its pool has everything from strong stab and Giga Impact and Headlong Rush to ridiculous coverage like Play Rough and the Elemental Punches. Ursaluna offers so much good that you can look past its difficult acquisition requirements for the most part. That 140 physical attack is really only touched by Rhyperior and no one else. It's really interesting that the advent of Ursaluna has created a small rivalry between Pokemon that offer similar things in both their existence and abilities. I will tell you right now though, if I was choosing one of the two for competitive, it would definitely be Ursaluna. Imagine running Guts or Bulletproof on something like this. My god. We move on now to the bug type, and this one was a toss-up between Cleaver and Heracross. As I alluded to earlier, Cleaver is a pretty great Pokemon. It's got base 135 attack, and its speed isn't as bad as you might think it would be at base 85. The real issue is its move pool. It doesn't impress me as much as it could. There just isn't that much coverage for what counts. There's nothing for water types, and while you can handle rock and steel types once you learn close combat, that water weakness still stings. Now, with Heracross, it feels a bit more fleshed out. It's not as strong as Cleaver, but it's pretty close at base 125 attack. It can handle almost all of its major weaknesses with the exception of fairy types. And that's of course impressive. Access to Outrage is really nice, and it can be set up just like Cleaver with Swords Dance or Bulk Up. Its close combat and Mega Horn hit harder than the stab moves Cleaver has, and you can get Heracross a bit earlier than Cleaver. Like I said, this is a bit of a toss-up that I'll defer to you guys on. I think this can go either way, but I want to hear what you think. Cleaver or Heracross? What is the top bug in Hisui? We'll breeze through Ice real quick. I feel it's Weavile. You can get a regular Sneasel or Weavile in the Obsidian Fieldlands right at the start of the game once space-time distortions pop up. We all know Weavile is a seriously strong, speedy threat, and considering any other competent ice type is locked in towards the end of the game, it just makes sense from a longevity standpoint to pick Weavile. Make no mistake though, you wouldn't be settling. Weavile is a powerful ally no matter the game, even if it's outshined by its sister Sneasler and the popularity department in the region. We'll quickly hit on the electric typing too. As I've stated before, I don't think this typing is all that great in Hisui, but this time I can at least say Luxray is the best of the bunch. For once it is able to outclass Magnezone due to coverage, with all of the elemental fangs available easier than having to breed them on like in BDSP. It's also got Play Rough and Crunch, which are naturally a duo of good coverage moves. Magnezone only has access to its stab essentially, so it's lacking, especially with Luxray's stats being comparable. It was an easy decision for me this time around. Next, we'll do flying, which I'm going to have to give to Togekiss. I definitely thought about Staraptor, which is a good Pokemon if not overrated, but it doesn't have the coverage that Togekiss has at all. The only advantage to Staraptor is its ease of access, but the work you've got to put in for Togekiss is very worth it. Togepi is available in the Crimson Mirelands. After you've gotten Basculegion, there is a Togetic flying around too that is available. You'll be able to evolve Togetic with the Shiny Stone and then have a pretty great special attacker on your team. Its move pool offers the great stab hits like Moonblast and Air Slash, while also boasting some coverage in Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, and even Magical Leaf or Water Pulse if you're feeling weird. I can tell Game Freak was feeling weird when working on Togekiss and Hisui, because for some reason they took away Aura Sphere from it. I have no idea what led to a decision like that, and I most certainly don't agree with it. Regardless though, it is still the best flying type. However, it is not the best fairy type. I'll save your time and keep this brief as well. Gardevoir is the best fairy and psychic type in this game. I've praised it on many lists and best teams already. Its stats are great, it's got an outstanding move pool, and it's just so stupidly easy to add to your team. Getting a Ralts to level 30 isn't going to be difficult by any means, so there is no argument against it there. We've discussed the Alakazam versus Gardevoir argument before, but you can't turn your back on Mystical Fire, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Moonblast. Those are better than the majority of the moves that Alakazam has access to. And the small bump in special attack and a decent jump in speed is not enough to move me from my stance that Guardy is the best psychic type. It's just so good the best Pokemon in the game in general. Finally, we'll wrap up this video with the best water and dark type Pokemon, Samurott. It's the best starter, and it's also the best Pokemon of its two types. There aren't many dark types that entered the conversation when I was making my decisions. I thought of Weavile, obviously, since it is the best ice type, and I also looked at Honchkrow. But I had to stick with Samurott. It was the same deal with the water typing. Gyarados and Empoleon are able to be argued, but at the end of the day, Samurott has longevity and great power. You get it at the start of the game as your starter, and then have access to its great mixed attack stats and power by the time you go from Oshawott to that final form. Ice Beam and Megahorn is some powerful and useful coverage, but Poison Jab is such an impressive bit of coverage for fairy types. The only detriment to Samurott's dominance is not having a way to deal with electric types. But no Pokemon is perfect. So that's it for this ranking. We've gone over the best Pokemon of every type in Legends Arceus, and I'm relatively confident in these picks. I want to know what you guys think though, because I think there is a ton of room for conversation. Hey guys, thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. It's exciting times for the Pokemon franchise, and I look forward to the coming months where it just keeps getting better. If you guys are wanting some more bite-sized Mystic Umbreon content, please check out my TikTok, where I upload daily, as well as the Mystic Umbreon Shorts channel. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I think it's time to wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.